We begin our session with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna. So I had announced that we will be doing an overview of chapter 12 today. आज मैंने अनाउंस किया था कि मैं 12वें अध्याय का अवलोकन करूंगा, but due to some reasons I'm going to actually start the chapter today itself, and the next Monday I'll be taking the overview session, and then we'll be continuing with the 12th chapter. And as I've told you, Wednesday will be an off day for us, and Thursday, Friday we'll be doing some generic sessions, and again Saturday will be a off day. So 2 days will be off from our online classes. So today we are going to start off with chapter 12. Among Bhagavad Gita, the crux of Bhagavad Gita, the most confidential part of Bhagavad Gita, तो गुह्यतमम जो ज्ञान है वो बीच वाला जो 6 अध्याय हैं उसमें भगवान उसको छुपा के रखा है. Just like we safeguard a precious jewel in a box which has 2 lids, and in center is the jewel. तो ठीक वैसे ही तो भगवान ने तो पहले कर्म योग के बारे में बात किया, फिर भक्ति योग जो गुह्यतमम ज्ञान है उसको, विच इज द प्रीशियस ज्वेल ऑफ ऑल इंस्ट्रक्शंस, उसको उन्होंने बीच में जोड़ दिया. फिर बाद में उन्होंने ज्ञान योग के बारे में from 13 to 18 he talked about ज्ञान योगा. In this chapter 2 and chapter 18 are summary chapters. So it is like when you read chapter 2 और आप 18वें अध्याय पढ़ेंगे तो भगवत गीता का आपको संक्षिप्त में पूरा ज्ञान मिल जाएगा. So those 6 chapters in between, they're called as the confidential knowledge. In that 9th chapter is specifically called the most confidential knowledge. But the most confidential knowledge in you can say that elaborate discussion 9th chapter में जो भगवान chapter को end किया. How did he end the chapter? He ended the chapter saying that man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. In the 12th chapter he is going to discuss about how to become the devotee and what is the devotional service and what are the different types of levels of different devotional service. आध्यात्मिक स्तर पे भक्तिमय सेवा करने का अनेक पहलू होते हैं, अनेक स्टेप्स होते हैं. तो उस सारे स्टेप्स को भगवान ने 12वें अध्याय में डिस्कस किया. इट्स अ वेरी शॉर्ट चैप्टर of just 20 shlokas. So we may take about 6 to 7 sessions to finish this. On an average, we finish 3 shlokas. So we'll begin with the chapter 12 itself, which is by the name devotional service. So the very first shloka, Krishna is starting off Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So in case the Wi-Fi goes off because the power is gone, so please continue to be logged in, because once the Wi-Fi comes, I will log in case we lose the signal now. So we'll start 12th chapter. No matter what, we will continue. Arjuna uvacha evam satata yukta ye bhaktas tvam paryupasate echapi aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. So here Arjuna is now speaking टू लॉर्ड कृष्णा, भगवान श्री कृष्णा को उद्देश्य करते हुए अर्जुन बात कर रहे हैं। व्हाट इज इट टेलिंग? अर्जुन इंक्वायर्ड, अर्जुन वाचा, अर्जुन ने कहा, विच इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी मोर परफेक्ट। तो तो आप जो इतने सारे योग के बारे में बात आपने किया है, तो आप मुझे बताइए इनमें से कौन सा परिपूर्ण है, विच इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी मोर परफेक्ट। Those who are properly engaged in a devotional service, भक्तास्त्वाम पर्युपासते, ऐसे भक्त जो आपके भक्ति में अपना जीवन को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं, क्या ये बेहतर है? और दोज वर्शिप द इम्पर्सनल ब्रह्मन, ते चापि अक्षरम अव्यक्तम, तो जो ब्रह्म ज्योति का उपासक है, तो एक भक्त है जो भगवान को उपासक है और दूसरा ब्रह्म ज्योति का उपासक है। तो ब्रह्म ज्योति क्या है? इट इज अव्यक्ता, अक्षरम अव्यक्ता, तो अनमैनिफेस्टेड। सो अर्जुन इज इंक्वायरिंग हियर, विच इज मोर परफेक्ट, भक्त बन के आपको उपासना करना है या फिर आपके ब्रह्म ज्योति निराकार स्वरूप आपको मुझे जो आपकी आराधना करते हैं, क्या ये सिस्टम बेहतर है? तेचापि अक्षरम अव्यक्तम तेषाम के योग वित्तमः, योग वित्तमः। सो योग वित्तमः मीन्स मोस्ट परफेक्ट, द मोस्ट परफेक्ट योगा कौन सा है बताइए? एक तरफ से आपने ब्रह्म ज्योति का आराधना की बात की, निराकारवादी का, और एक तरफ से आपने आपके साकार रूप, निज रूप, कृष्ण स्वरूप में भक्तिमय सेवा के लिए आपने बताया है। तो एवं सतत युक्ता है भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते, ये चापि अक्षरम अव्यक्तम तेषाम के योग वित्तमा, ये भी आपसे आपके भजन कर रहे हैं, ये भी आपके भजन कर रहे हैं, एक निराकार रूप से कर रहे हैं, एक आपके साकार रूप से कर रहे हैं। तो विच इज मोर परफेक्ट ऑफ द टू एंड्स, विच इज मोर परफेक्ट? बीच में तो बहुत कुछ और योगा आएगा। तो ऑल इन वन स्ट्रोक अर्जुन इज एक्चुअली टेलिंग, टेल मी फ्रॉम दिस एंड टू दैट एंड, ये फर्स्ट लेवल है और ये लास्ट लेवल है, इसमें से कौन सा बेहतर है? सो कृष्णा हैज नाउ एक्सप्लेन्ड अबाउट द पर्सनल, इम्पर्सनल एंड द यूनिवर्सल। तो साकार रूप में भक्ति उनका करना, निराकार रूप से भी भक्ति उनका करना, और विश्व रूप को मानते हुए उनका भक्ति करना। And he has described all kinds of devotees and yogis. तो ऐसे अनेक सारे पंथों के बारे में, पथों के बारे में कृष्णा ने हमें अब तक बताया, फ्रॉम फर्स्ट चैप्टर, सेकेंड चैप्टर टू 11th चैप्टर। तो जनरली द ट्रांसेंडेंटलिस्ट कैन बी डिवाइडेड इनटू टू क्लासेस। तो जो भक्तिमय सेवा करते हैं उनके दो जनरल विभाग होता है। क्या है ये? वन इज इम्पर्सनलिस्ट, एक निराकारवादी है, भगवान का कोई स्वरूप नहीं है, भगवान का कोई रूप नहीं है, तो ये वाद है उनका, ये वाद है उनका। दूसरा, द अदर इज पर्सनलिस्ट। तो पर्सनलिस्ट इज, भगवान एक व्यक्ति है, उनका एक आकार है, वो ऐसे दिखते हैं। तो दिस इज अनदर सेक्ट ऑफ पीपल हु गो ऑन टू से दैट, हाँ, yes, Lord is having a form and Lord is a person. Lord is a personality. So Arjuna, so the Prabhupada goes on explaining, the personalist devotee engages himself with all energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. जो साकारवादी है, भगवान के भक्त है निज रूप का, तो वो हमेशा अपना सारा जो शक्ति है भगवान की आराधना में उसको व्यस्त करता है, व्यस्त रहता है। द इम्पर्सनिस्ट एंगेजेस हिमसेल्फ नॉट डायरेक्टली इन द सर्विस ऑफ कृष्णा। जो निराकारवादी है वो भगवान की सीधा सीधा सेवा नहीं कर रहा है, तो क्या कर रहा है वो? बट ही इज इन मेडिटेशन ऑफ द इम्पर्सनल ब्रह्मन, द अनमैनिफेस्टेड। तो भगवान की ध्यान कर रहा है, भगवान की ब्रह्म ज्योति का ध्यान कर रहा है। तो ये तो ऐसे हो गया, मेरे प्रेमी मेरे सामने है, माई लवर इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी, पर मैं बैठ के आंख बंद करके उनका ध्यान कर रहा हूं, आई लव हर, आई लव हर, आई लव हर। दूसरा दूसरा एक सिचुएशन है, मेरा माई लवर इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी एंड आई एम गोइंग एंड मेकिंग लव टू हर, एंड आई एम गोइंग एंड हैविंग एन लविंग रिलेशनशिप विथ हर। सो विच इज लॉजिकली करेक्ट? I love that person, but what the first person is doing is sitting down, is closing his eyes, and is not imagining her form. He's thinking she has no form. So, and I love her, I love her, I love her. मुझे उनके साथ रहना है, मुझे उनके साथ रहना है, सामने ही है। और दूसरा भक्त है जो समझता है भगवान का एक रूप है, उसका निज रूप है कृष्ण रूप, वो मेरे सामने है मंदिर में आर्चा विग्रह की तरह, और भगवान का ये स्वरूप है। एंड व्हेन दैट लॉर्ड इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी, तो मैं उसको जाके मैं उसको भक्तिमय सेवा करूंगा, मैं प्रेममय सेवा करूंगा। सो दैट इज इंटेलिजेंस। सो इट इज सो सिंपल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन निराकारवाद भक्ति एंड साकारवाद भक्ति। इनफैक्ट निराकारवाद भक्ति इज नॉट भक्ति एट ऑल, it is just another step in spiritual life. It cannot be really called as bhakti. So I think that was very easy to
Yeah, please,
understand. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
please.
Hari Bol. We will take this question.
Hari Prabhu, can you just repeat this one
This line.
again?
Okay.
Yes.
I just gave an example of I love somebody and the lover is in front of me. And what I'm doing is one situation, I'm sitting down, closing my eyes, and I'm meditating on that person. I love her, I love her, I love her. So this is Nirakaravadi. He doesn't want to accept any form. She's there in front, but he's going to sit down and do dhyana on that person. I love her, I love her, I want to love her, I want to meet her. Samni hai. And there is another, on the other side, there is devotee, who knows who the Lord is, who knows that the Lord has got a form, and he's going and he's doing transcendental loving devotional service to the Lord. जो भगवान है उनका सेवा वो जाके कर रहा है. So which is more intelligent? You want to love that lover and you're sitting down and only meditating, and you have here an opportunity, the Lord is in front of you, you're going and doing service. But we have the Lord in the form of Archa Vigraha, which is non-different than the Lord. So here we are going and doing service to the Lord in the temple. So that is intelligence. Rather than sitting down and simply meditating on a formless God, although he has got such a beautiful form. Krishna is such a beautiful person. But we want to relegate him to this one that, he doesn't have a form. And therefore, and I'm going to worship the formless person. So it doesn't make any sense. So indirectly, Prabhupada is already telling us the answer, even before Krishna tells the answer. Obviously, worshipping the actual form of the Lord in loving devotional service is the topmost type of bhakti. So we find in this chapter that of the different processes for realization of the absolute truth, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the highest. तो साकारवाद भगवान कृष्ण स्वरूप प्रेममय भक्ति सेवा करना, Prabhupada is already bringing the conclusion, it is the topmost type of yoga. It is the top of the different types of Bhakti Yoga, so-called Bhakti Yoga. If one desires at all to have association of the Supreme Person of Godhead, he must take to devotional service. अगर भगवान का वो संग चाहता है, भगवान का सानिध्य चाहता है, तो Prabhupada is telling we must to do devotional service to his form. तो because he Satchidananda Vigraha, Brahma खुद बोल रहे हैं कि Lord has got a form. Where is the question of him being formless? Those who worship the Supreme Lord directly by devotional service are called personless. जो ऐसे भक्तिमय सेवा भगवान के अर्चा विग्रह को या साकार रूप को करते हैं, so they are called as personless. जैसे कि हम सब करते हैं. We are all believing in the person God. We believe that Krishna is a person, he is a personality. Govinda Adi Purusha. Tamaham Bhaja. Adi Purusha. Not that he's not having a form, he's a Purusha, he's having a form. What form? Sat Chid Ananda Vigraha. Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. He has got a form. So those who engage themselves in meditation and impersonal Brahman are called impersonalists. Impersonalist मतलब जो उनका आकार को मानते नहीं है. Arjuna is here questioning which position is better. अर्जुन ने यहाँ पूछा कि कौन सा बेहतर है. There are different ways to realize absolute truth. ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानेति इति शब्दते. तो भगवान को एब्सोल्यूट ट्रुथ परम सत्य को जानने का तीन मार्ग है, तीन स्तर है. एक ब्रह्म ज्योति को मानना ब्रह्मेति, हृदय के अंदर जो भगवान है उसको मानना परमात्मेति. लेकिन सबसे टॉप मोस्ट लेवल ऑफ नॉलेज इज भगवान इति. टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट लॉर्ड इज भगवान, he is the supreme, he's got a form, and from Bhagavan there is Paramatma and Brahma Jyoti coming. So they are emanations from the Bhagavan feature. So when we worship Bhagavan, we are also worshipping Brahma Jyoti, Paramatma feature. So that is what we have to understand. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Sabdate. So, and it is the easiest means, it is the highest of all. Bhagavan iti sabdhyate. It is the highest of all. It is the most direct. It is the easiest means of association of Supreme Lord. कृष्णा का सानिध्य चाहिए तो जो भक्तिमय सेवा भगवान को भगवान के स्वरूप में जब हम करते हैं, ये टॉप मोस्ट योगा है, भक्ति योगा. और इट इज मोस्ट डायरेक्ट, सीधे सीधे भगवान की सेवा आप कर रहे हो. और इट इज द इजिएस्ट, अति सुलभ है. बिकॉज यू आर एबल टू हैव अ रिलेशनशिप. So unless we have a relationship, there cannot be love. I cannot love an impersonal thing, which an impersonalist is trying very hard to do. मुझे अता पता नहीं है कि वो कैसा दिखता है, कहाँ रहता है, क्या करता है, और मैं बोल रहा हूँ मुझे उससे प्यार करना है. कौन किससे प्यार करना है मुझे पता नहीं, वो कैसे दिखता है मुझे पता नहीं, वो क्या करता है मुझे पता नहीं, वो कौन है. So it is coming to even say that it is coming to the stage of stupidity here. You don't know who it is. You don't know he has got a form. You say he has not got no form. You say he has got no attributes, and you're going to say that you're going to love him. जिसका attribute नहीं है तो आप उसको कैसे प्यार करेंगे, प्रेम कैसे आप जताएंगे उसको. तो प्रेम तो दो व्यक्तियों के बीच होता है. It can be between two people. And the topmost love, real love, is between Jiva and the Paramatma, Jiva and Bhagavan. This is the topmost, the relationship of love that anybody can have. In the second chapter, Lord explains that a living entity is not material body, but is a spiritual spark. So he is telling that Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantar prapti dhiras tatra muyati. So he has already brought up the concept of you are not this body, you are spirit soul. आप देह नहीं हो, आपके पास एक देह है, आप देही हो और आप एक आत्मा हो. So in the seventh chapter he speaks of the living entity as a part and parcel of the supreme whole. सातवें अध्याय में बोलते हैं जीव भगवान का एक अंश है. So and recommends that he transfer his attention fully to the whole. तो जीव का स्वरूप क्या है? जीवे स्वरूप होय नित्यर कृष्णदास. So the real position, constitutional position of Jiva is constantly, consistently and eternally the servant of the Supreme Lord. वो हमेशा भगवान की दास है. और दास को क्या करना चाहिए? मालिक सामने है, बैठ के मालिक का ध्यान करेगा. तो ये दिस इज नॉट सर्विंग द मास्टर. सर्विंग द मास्टर, मास्टर आपके सामने जाके सेवा करो. दैट इज द टॉप मोस्ट वे ऑफ कनेक्टिंग विद द मास्टर. So further, in the 8th chapter, it is stated that whoever thinks of Krishna at the moment of death is at once transferred to spiritual sky. तो भगवान कृष्णा का जो आकार पे अपना ध्यान रखेगा, उस आंखों देखा हाल उसको दिखाई दे रहा है, मतलब डायरेक्ट ध्यान इज गोइंग ऑन. तो ऐसे व्यक्ति को भगवान उनके जीवन के अंत में मिल ही जाते हैं. He'll go back to Krishna. So and this Krishna is telling categorically, Krishna is telling this bhakta will come back to me. He is not talking of a Nirakaravadi. So at the end of sixth chapter, the Lord says that out of all the yogis, he who thinks of Krishna within himself is considered to be the most perfect. जो द्विभुज नारायण भगवान श्री कृष्ण का रूप है, जिसका वो कोई उपासना करेगा. सो छठे चैप्टर के अंत श्लोक में he is telling that this person is the topmost yogi. So that person who worships me in my original form as Krishna is the topmost yogi. Is the conclusion of sixth chapter. That is, he is just finishing Karma Yoga and is now going to enter Bhakti Yoga chapters from seventh chapter. Krishna makes that conclusion. Further, so throughout the Gita, the personal devotion to Krishna is recommended as the highest form of spiritual realization. तो बार बार प्रभुपाद जी अपने भावार्थ में यही बात लेके आ रहे हैं. भगवान की सेवा, भगवान के निज स्वरूप कृष्ण स्वरूप के लिए आप सेवा कीजिए. To worship Krishna, not even Vishnu, the four-handed form. The topmost form, the original form of God is two-handed Krishna form. And intelligent person will worship this form. Because by worshipping this form, everything Brahmeti, Bhagavaneti, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti, iti sabdhyate. Worshipping, by worshipping the entire country, you are worshipping all the citizens also. You are worshipping everything as a part of it. भारत का जो व्हाट इज दैट पेट्रियट है, वो हर राज्य का भी पेट्रियट है. ये नहीं बोल सकता कि मैं तो भारत का मानने वाला हूं, लेकिन मैं कर्नाटका, उत्तर प्रदेश, इन लोगों को नहीं मानता, मैं द्वेष करता हूं इन लोगों को. राष्ट्रवादी मतलब he is going to also have the same kind of feeling for all the other states because they constitute this. And by loving the country, it means that he's loving all the states also. One cannot say that I love my country and say I don't like Manipur, I don't like Himachal Pradesh. You cannot say like that. उन लोगों से मुझे चिढ़ है, ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते. So further, yet there are those who are still attracted to Krishna's impersonal Brahma Jyoti effulgence. फिर भी ऐसे कुछ लोग हैं जो कृष्णा से नहीं, कृष्णा के जो तन का बा है, जो विभूति है, प्रकाश है, उससे they are attracted. So they are not attracted with the source, they are attracted with the effect of that source. So further Prabhupada explains that Arjuna would like to know which of these two transcendentalists is more perfect in knowledge. अब प्रभुपाद ने ऑलरेडी हमें उत्तर दे दिया. इनफैक्ट प्रभुपाद जी हमें पहले अध्याय से ही इसका उत्तर देते आ रहे हैं. एवरी पर्पट हैज गॉट भक्ति इज द टॉप मोस्ट योगा इन कलियुगा. द टॉप मोस्ट भक्ति इज वर्शिपिंग लॉर्ड कृष्णा इन हिज ओरिजिनल फॉर्म and in all the yugas also, and especially in Kali Yuga, he can be worshipped by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So simple. The simplest way of worshipping Krishna, which is the topmost yoga, the topmost worship is by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So if any of you are not taking it seriously, that means you are behaving like a impersonalist who knows what to do but is not doing it, or who is not doing it right. So in other words, he is clarifying his own position because he is attached to personal form of Krishna. क्योंकि Arjuna is trying to say that मैं तो आपके मतलब I am attracted to your this form. But then he also explained about somebody who was worshipping the Brahma Jyoti. Please tell me which is better. So further going, actually one cannot perfectly conceive the impersonal feature of the absolute. अगर आपको किसी के बारे में नहीं सोचना है तो आप क्या सोचेंगे? ध्यान कर रहे हो और कोई आपसे आके पूछ रहा है आप किसके ऊपर ध्यान कर रहे हो, पता नहीं, मतलब कौन सा आकार के ऊपर ध्यान कर रहे हो, है ही नहीं आकार, तो आप किसके ऊपर ध्यान कर रहे हो? So it doesn't make any logical sense at all when somebody says that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Just give me 1 minute. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Okay, we'll move further. Actually, one cannot perfectly conceive of the impersonal feature of absolute truth. तो ब्रह्म ज्योति का if I say draw picture of light, क्या करेंगे आप? एक बल्ब का पिक्चर डालेंगे और फिर कुछ रेस करेंगे, लेकिन उस रेस का भी फॉर्म है, बल्ब का भी फॉर्म है, लेकिन आपको मैंने बोला था यू ड्रॉ द पिक्चर ऑफ लाइट. हाउ विल यू डू इट? You will never be able to do it. Drawing the picture of light, you can paint it yellow and say that this is light. I'll say this is not light, this is yellow color. Prove to me that this is light. And what is the form of light you will give? You will not be able to give anything. तो क्या picture आप draw करेंगे? But we have seen beautiful paintings of Krishna. प्रभुपाद जी के सारे books में कुछ paintings का insertions रहता है. If you go to temples of Krishna, beautiful paintings of Krishna. So that is the beauty of the Lord. What is the use of such a waste of time? Arjuna is virtually saying that ये तो मतलब अपना काल को अव्यर्थ रूप से गवा रहे हैं. They are simply wasting their time. What they want is in front of them. It has got a shape and form, and they can directly worship you. Still, they're telling, no, first let me meditate on the form that you don't possess. So it doesn't make sense. So Arjuna experienced in the 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Darshan mein, that to be attached to the personal form of Krishna is the best, because he understood that all other forms at the same time, there was no disturbance to his love for Krishna. तो विश्वरूप का दर्शन भी कर लिया पिछले चैप्टर में. उस रूप का दर्शन में भी Arjuna did not want to appreciate and worship Krishna. He said, please come back to your first, show me a 400 form, then show me your original 200 form. I am more pleased when I see this form. This is more pleasing for me. So this is what Arjuna ended up saying in the final shlokas of that chapter. So Prabhupada, this purport, I always said the first purport of every chapter is the introduction to the chapter. Matlab, you got the complete introduction to 12th chapter with the first purport. The last purport of every chapter is what? The last purport of every chapter is the summary of that chapter. So this you should remember. So this important question asked of Krishna by Arjuna will clarify the distinction between impersonal and personal conceptions of absolute truth. Now Krishna goes on elaborately answering this question, although we already got the answer. But then Krishna is now going to take us through a journey where he will start giving us elaborate answers. And what this answer is, we'll find out. We'll move on to shloka number 2. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So Lord is saying, Maya Vesha Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetas Te Me Yukta Tamamataha. So Krishna is giving a very categorical answer here. What is Krishna telling? The blessed Lord said, Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Bhagavan keh rahe hain, he whose mind is fixed on my personal form. Who is telling? अब किसकी बात सुने हम? भगवान खुद यहाँ पे बता रहे हैं, मई आवेश मनु ये माम नित्य युक्तोपासते, जो मेरे इस स्वरूप कृष्णा स्वरूप का ध्यान और आराधना करता है. He whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engage in worshipping me, नित्य युक्त उपासते. तो हमेशा 24 घंटे मेरा उपासना, कृष्ण स्वरूप उपासना करता है. With great transcendental faith, श्रद्धया परयोपेतास, श्रद्धा से जब वो ध्यान करता है, परयोपेतास, परयोपेतास मीन्स he transcendentally engages, दिव्य भक्ति में सेवा कर रहा है. तेमे युक्त तमामताः. So what is telling is considered by me to be the most perfect. भगवान बोल रहे हैं, मैं बोल रहा हूं, जो मेरे कृष्ण स्वरूप का आराधना करता है वो सबसे बड़ा भक्त है. What other proof you want? What other explanation we want from any Tom, Dick and Harry? We don't want anybody's answer now. Guru is also saying this. Sadhu is also saying this. Shastra is also saying yes. There's no difference between Shastra and the Lord himself. तो भगवान खुद बोल रहे हैं हमें, तो हमें फिर डाउट रखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. In answer to Arjuna's question, Krishna clearly says that he who concentrates upon his personal form, worships him with faith and devotion, is considered to be the most perfect. मेरे निज स्वरूप कृष्ण स्वरूप का आराधना करता है, श्रद्धा से करता है और भक्ति से, प्रेममय भक्ति से करता है. One is devotional service with faith and with love, with devotion, bhakti. So he's saying that person is the most topmost bhakta. And we are all fortunate that we came across a guru, Srila Prabhupada, who told us to worship the personal form of the Lord. So that way we are extremely fortunate. और ये जो भाग्य है हमें गवाना नहीं है. After many lives that has come, बहुनाम जन्मनाम अन्ते ज्ञानवान माम प्रपद्यन्ते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभा. ये महात्मा है, ये भक्त है. कौन? वासुदेव का भक्त, वासुदेव का निज स्वरूप, कृष्ण स्वरूप का भक्त. ही इज हाउ, व्हेन इज ही गेटिंग दिस भक्ति? बहुनाम जन्म नामन्ते, बहु जन्म के बाद, प्राणी की योनि में नहीं, ज्ञानवान, ज्ञानी बन के बहु जन्म बिताने के बाद तब वो भक्त बनता है. प्राणी बन के भोजन के बाद वो मनुष्य बनता है. मनुष्य योनि में अनेक जन्म ज्ञान पाके ज्ञानवान बन के बहुनाम जन्म नाम अंते ज्ञानवान, ज्ञानी बन के बहु जन्म के बाद भक्त कोई बनता है. सो वी आर ऑल इन दैट पाथ वेयर many lifetimes of jnana we have completed, and many of us here, like me at least, we have come to this path only by causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada Guru, and not by our qualification. There might be some of you who in your previous lives have been jnanis. So a pure devotee is constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears, sometimes he reads books about Krishna. So Prabhupada is narrowly telling us what we should do in bhakti. जपा करो, अध्ययन करो और प्रवचन सुनो. And sometimes he cooks prasadam, और prasadam पकाओ और खाओ. He goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna. भक्ति में सेवा करो, सिर्फ खाना नहीं है. तो खाना बनाने के लिए पदार्थ चाहिए, तो हमें मार्केट जाना है, काम करना है, कार्य करना है. लेकिन devoted to Krishna, engaged in Krishna's service. Work and devotional service is not the same. Work is mundane, doing it for myself. Devotional service is doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. So, and whatever he does, he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. तो जो भी है भक्त is always engaged in the service of the Lord. 24 घंटे तेषाम सतत युक्तानाम. So Krishna is also telling that we must be always engaged in his service. Nitya yukta upasate. He is not telling that दिन में 2 घंटे कर लो भक्ति, फिर बाद में आप बंदर का नाच करो. Do whatever you want. He is not telling that. Saying भक्तिमय सेवा, हमारा जीवन पूरा भक्तिमय सेवा में हमें बिताना है. So Krishna has already given the categorical answer. So what happens next in the chapter is he will also take up with, हाँ ये कर सकते हो, लेकिन इससे बेहतर है ये करो, इससे बेहतर है ये करो. And then finally he comes to the best of this is to do personal service to me. So this is how he takes us through this journey. So there is a transcript or a translation which Prabhupada did with Bhagavad Gita I'm talking of. It's not that just because I'm doing devotional service, everything is going to be rosy for me. Even Prabhupada had to go through a lot of hardships. Then why should I do bhakti if I have to go through all the difficulties that life throws at me and it is not going to get diminished or get solved? Why should I get into bhakti? bhakti is trying to prepare us for our journey back to the God, back to Lord. So while we are walking this journey in this material world, all the aspects of material world will be uh, in front of us. अगर मैं कांटे वाला रास्ते में जा रहा हूं, मेरा लक्ष्य है मैं बगीचे में जाऊं जहां पे सुगंध भरित फूल है, लेकिन रास्ता कांटेमय है क्योंकि मैंने चूज किया है, because I have chosen to remain in this material world. Somehow by Guru's mercy, I have come to know that आप चलते जाओ और आप भक्ति करते जाओ और आप एक दिन आप उस बगीचे पे जाओगे जहां पे आपको सुगंधमय फूल का वातावरण मिलेगा, जहां पे आपको भक्ति, आपको भगवान मिलेगा. लेकिन while we are walking that path, we are still in the material world. So all the tribulations of the material world will come in our life. ऐसे नहीं कि दुख खत्म हो जाएगा. We are in which place? दुखालयम अशाश्वतम, certified by Krishna. This material world is दुख का आलय, अशाश्वत है. और दुख भी अशाश्वत है, सुख भी अशाश्वत है, लेकिन दुखमय है, शोकमय है ये जीवन. But while we are in this life, we must practice to have a life of bhakti in the afterlife of this. So that is the practice that we are doing, and that simplest practice that we are doing it here is chanting Hare Krishna mantra. I am going to answer the question. What we are going to do is after 1 minute, the session will get logged off. So we will log in again. Those people who have got questions will log in again with the same link and ask me questions. Till then, we will be continuing with this session, which is going to go on for another 2 minutes. After that, automatic log off happens. 30 seconds later, we'll log in. Please come with your questions in that second part of the session. So, Prabhupada ji also, in fact, he had a lifetime of preparation. He was a devotee from the start of his life. His parents were devotees. And then he wanted to spread the glories of the holy name. But was it easy for him? It was not easy for him. He had to go through all the ups and downs of the material world. But because he was a pure devotee, he did not get wavered. So, bhakti करने से क्या हमें मिलेगा? भक्ति करने से हमें शक्ति मिलेगा to walk that path of tribulations. वो जो दुख और शोक मेरी जिंदगी में आने वाला है, उसको फेस करके without being bogged down. Many people, what happens? They get bogged down. They lose their track in life. But भक्त हमेशा अपना लक्ष्य को साधने की ओर वो आगे बढ़ता जाएगा. He will keep moving ahead towards completing his devotional service and going back home, back to God in this very life. So Prabhupada wrote पहले Prabhupada ने पूरा मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट लिखा था भगवत गीता का, फिर वो पूरा मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट खो गया. Imagine you have written the entire Bhagavad Gita purport and you're going to start preaching and the entire written material is lost. But Prabhupada did not lose heart. He once again wrote the purport. So what we have now, the Macmillan edition of Bhagavad Gita, is that second part of his writing, when he wrote it the second time. So it was not easy for him. When he was in America, his typewriter, all his belongings got stolen. Still, he never gave up. It took him almost 1 year. He wandered, kuch nahi ho raha hai. But 1 year later, he was able to establish International Society for Krishna Consciousness.